Hi, hello guys. Welcome to another review episode. It's been a minute since you saw my face, but well, I'm here. So this week I'm going to review the King of Thieves movie by Femi Adebayo and the Neya Kimolayo. So I've watched this movie for some weeks now, and because of the BBN updates I do, I've been busy. I've not been able to do it, but we'll be going right into it. No. But before we proceed, if you've not subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel and turn on bell notifications for all our videos for you to be notified when new videos drop. So the King of Thieves, yeah. Watching it, at least when I started watching it, I enjoyed it. They gave me this feeling like, oh, I was proud of my culture. Like, yes, this is Yoruba culture. When they wanted to do the coronation of Odunlade Adekola's character, the son of the so I can't remember all the names again because it's been somewhat a while. Odunlade Adekola's character when he was being crowned the king, going to visit to pay homage to the witches, the wizards, and all the other strong people in the community, for his tenure to be wonderful. And I was like, oh, so this is the meaning why they say that kings are Oba, Oko Osho, Oko Aje, meaning the husbands of witches and the husbands of wizards. That is because they've actually gone to pay homage to them and collect all the powers they should collect. So that's why in the olden days we know that our kings are usually very powerful with charms and all that. So it's made sense to me, like, oh, okay, it answered some questions for me. I really love it. I was when you have goosebumps and your head is swelling, like, yes, this is my culture. Yes. I really loved it. I loved the beginning of the show where Arinze came in the gallery and was telling the story to a couple that was looking at a picture, and I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. So I like the cinematography, very nice and all that. Then we went into the story during the coronation. So the first thing I like there about at the coronation is that after the coronation, all those their clothes and everyone wearing the same attire, different colors of that show. Okay, so they were showing after the coronation. That's coronation when they were singing out and singing into the next scene. They used a tree, and then in the next scene they used a CGI tree to fade in and fade out. I really loved it. So this was the scene where the kings that came to visit the coronation ceremony were accosted by this Agesinkole, the king of thieves, and that scene took me out. Aside from the fading in and out that I really loved, I was like, okay, these are kings, and the way they are, talking about, this king shared them horses as coronation gifts, and they were riding the horses. I was wondering, these kings, what did they come with? They are kings. Even if they are not that prosperous, at least they wouldn't have come footed, like they wouldn't have walked to that town. They would have had something to go with, even if it is a all this carriage that the slaves will carry. But it seemed they did not have anything of the sort. So did they trek there to the village and they're supposed to be kings? They did not have guards. They did not have they even had some slaves that the other king gave them. Like, they had nothing basically. Because I don't know how kings will be going on journey and they will have no guards with them. And then Ageshikoli came, and before we could even say Jack Robinson, he had robbed them and taken them as slaves. That was baffling. But I was like, okay, let's continue, let's go on. And started showing us, the character building of different characters. The Ogunsade, who will now be the one to wrap up the scene, and his wife, the movie, and his wife, and the way his wife, the way she's saucy, rude, and all that. They showed us that, but they didn't show us, okay, how did they get to this point? How did they get married? That their marriage is like this, to the point that a jealous maker pour out a pot of stew she has cooked, and the guy will go to bed hungry. And I just wonder that if it was in this age of feminism, I would say, okay, it's because of feminism. But that was those days. What happened? How did they get to this point? And then they took us on that journey So as not to say everything that happened in the movie, at the end of the day, they explained how Agesinkole came to be, his motivations for doing all these things and all that. So going to the review, number one, I did not I did not really support this guy because you painted him to be a thief and all that. So I knew that going in. I could not work up the sympathy for him. But I expected that, well, for it to be this bad and for him to be this powerful, there will be a good reason behind what he did, which they showed. But it did not really it was not enough for me to care for him and be really sympathetic, because I really did not know him. I only knew him as a criminal, and the few things they showed about his past was too short for me to grow an attachment to him. So now the backstory is that he was unjustly killed because of the stringent laws of the land for stealing something, and it was a setup. That stealing of a thing was actually a setup. That it's also blatant that this thing does not make sense and you were being set up. His friend even mentioned it, but he was too trusting and went ahead and he got set up. Sha. So you now decided to come back centuries later to hunt the grandchild, or that part was not even clear. That was Odunlade Adekola's character, a grandchild. It seemed as if it was supposed to be like great to great grandchild. Then at the time he said, oh, when the son of Adekola also, when he grew old, to come on the mantle of his father. So I now wonder that this did not really is not really clear. Is he a grandchild, or a son, or a great great grandson? Because Ogunsade is related to this Agesinkole as a great, because he said, oh, his own grandfather told him that his own grandfather. So it's like, I think that's like two great grandfathers to Oguntade. So we expect that that king, even if he's not, if he's a bit older than Oguntade, should be like a great grandchild to the king that caused the problem. So it was a tussle of power between two people, and one, got the other set up so that he would get the power. So he did not, I'm not really sure the timeline. That's all. An explanation to clear it up is that in Yoruba land, when you say a son or a daughter, it does not only mean the immediate one. It could be 10 ones to come. And since a royal family, a village or town could have more than one royal families, then they rotate the title, and maybe it took some years, all these great 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 grandfatherish years, before it became Adenikoro's family time. Then you, Agesinkole, decided that, okay, oh, you want to revenge. You did not revenge in the reign of the person that got you set up. You decided to revenge years later, in innocent times, killing innocent people that knew nothing. So I couldn't work up my sympathy, because you wanted to revenge a wrong done to you by doing more wrong, by killing innocent people. He killed the child, the prince. He killed villagers, took them as slaves. You just feel like, you feel like shedding blood, and they go on a rampage and kill people. It did not make sense for someone fighting for justice. You were causing a lot of injustice. It did not really make sense. You didn't even do it in the time when this thing occurred. You're doing it years later. It did not really make sense. And it was very powerful. He spoke out. We were shown how, thunder was sent to him, how he spoke to the thunder, the lightning, and he changed things, and he spoke about how I've been with you, the witches, I've been with you, the wizards, but you just did not know when I was with you. I thought that they would know. Show us this part later, but they didn't. So we were just supposed to take it that, oh, he's very powerful because he said it, and he has spent time with the witches and wizards, and he has power over them, obviously. But they didn't show us how he got this power, because the last thing we saw was him dying. He was left for the snakes to bite, and they showed him dead. And then the next thing, they caught his friend trying to, steal his corpse to bury properly. So they killed his friend too for stealing. because well, the punishment for stealing even one cube of Maggie is death. So I now wondered how he and his friend met up in the spirit realm, how they got the powers, how he lived with the witches and the wizards and the Shangos and the masquerades and the everything that he said he did. I wondered how he did all that, linked up with his friend, and they got deity status to the point that years and years and years they are alive and they are very powerful. How did they get that? Because it was just a normal human being before he died. How did that happen? They didn't show us. I'm just to believe he died and he became powerful and he came with his friend to revenge a wrong by doing so many wrongs. So at the end of the day, the movie built up this anticipation, this delicious anticipation, I should not lie. They built it up and then they left me high and dry. They couldn't follow through, they couldn't deliver. And I just finished watching the movie and I'm like, okay, what next? And the last scene they showed that was that Segun Arinze is the present day reincarnation of this guy. And I'm like, okay, more reason I am interested in knowing how he got his powers. Now he's kind of like a superhero that is going to avenge wrongs and injustice. And how did this all come to be? How did it not permute into this guy? Like, what's happening? Did he get married because his image and body was still the same all along? And then later we are seeing Shegarinze. How did it change into that? Kilo Shele, is it a is it a shape shifting deity now? Like, we want to have our own Superman, but he's not king of this, but we are not understanding all the motivation. Maybe they will do origin story later on because he's not understanding me again. It just confused me. And the CGI was terrible too. In a part, it was a little bit okay. It's better than what we get in Nigerian movies, except for that snake aspect. The CGI was not that great, right? It was not that great. And the costumes, especially the one worn by the King of Thieves, Agesinkole, it was too costumey, if you get what I mean. It didn't seem like an outfit that he is wearing, except for one scene, the scene where Ogunlade came to their place and he came out from his living room. That was happening. That one, except for the excessive carries, that one seemed like something he wears. But the others just seemed like a costume he is wearing for the sake of the movie. You get, it wasn't seeming natural, like, you understand, it not seem like something he wears normally. Then what else? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, we don't know the fate of Ogunlade's wife because Ogunlade went to steal for his wife. We don't even know whether they actually got to do the sacrifice for her atonement or not. That place just film. Then there was this part where Lateef is not one of the not even the head of the masquerade people, but he projects himself as the head and he collected money from the king to go there and he was turned into a god, or what is it pronounced like, and Akeshikole swallowed him for months. Only at the end, Akeshikole spat him out and he turned to human being and he was not weak. I expected that I would have died, but he came back alive. You were not weak. He had the energy to run away. Like at that moment, you should have been craving for water, anything. Kò yé mi. Oh, basically, I've said the things I do not really like there. The story did not really deliver completely. The CGI was bad. I could not sympathize with a bad person claiming to wrong injustice by doing more injustice. Um, I did not really understand Odunlade's position. He acted it well, but the king was just for someone that's supposed to be powerful. He was only lamenting. This was just to lament, lament, and lament. What will happen? I did not see him make active role to solve the problem in the community. It was only the chiefs and his wife, being a witch, that she decided to go and fight the battle. Unfortunately, her power was not enough. But the man was just lamenting and lamenting, and then he went to the witch's grove, and then he called them names and he lamented. You think that person has power? But no, they acted it well, yeah. But the character itself, the development, like it was just there to lament. I don't understand. I really do not understand. And then to now go into the things that I love. I love the cinematography. I love the eulogy. I like the depiction of culture. I like the explanation of the eulogies that Obas have. And then I like the scene in and out from the coronation time. Then I like this part when the queen rather was lamenting. I won't say what happened then. She was lamenting and crying, and then she started singing, calling someone's name and singing, using it to sing like, oh. So the song she was singing and the theme song that came in, the soundtrack that came at that time, it's merged, and it was really nice. I loved it. It actually made me feel anguish the more. And then they now show the carving of a mother, and a child. It's just depicted that scene, what was happening. It was really lovely. And then the theme song, I used to know the name. I should have refreshed my head before doing this video. The guy that sang the theme song, oh god, his name was one unique name. I'll write it out. I really love the theme song. That I just stood there, looking at the cast and crew and the theme song, like, okay, this is lovely. I love the theme song. So they did that well, but they could have, delivered better on the story. So all in all, I'll give it a 2.5. I give it a 2.5. They built it. I would have given them a 3, maybe. I felt like 3 was too much, but 2 was too little, so I could only agree on 2.5. So they built me up. They built me up. I was so happy. It was so sweet, and then it did not even come down. It just left me hanging. So unlike some other movies that will build you up and then bring you down badly and crash you, this one just left me hanging. Like, this could have been more, could have been better. So I hope they do better. The bonus movie I'll be reviewing is titled Mr. Malcolm's List. It is a Hollywood movie, colorblind casting of the 1902. Now, my problem with it was that they showed 1918, I said 1902, 1802. They showed 1802 in the beginning, and I expected that at the very least, the ladies would be like 8 years. And then you did 16 years later. That should be, no, they didn't say right 16 years later. I said 1818. So 1818 to 1802, that was 16 years later. On a norms, a child born in 1802, in that age, that time should be entering the society at 1816. But this one, they said the lady had been in society for like 4 years. So let's assume that she was 20 years. Let's say she entered at age 15 or 16, she would be 19 or 20. But then let us cast back that at that age that they showed them, they must have been at least 8 years of age. 8 years plus 16 will be giving 24. So 24 plus 4 years, that means they entered the society at 20. They were already old. So the timeline is not clear to me that how old were they in the first scene when they were in the finishing school for ladies or whatever it was called. How old were they? And how old are they now? And then the colorblind, maybe because I'm in Nigerian, I really don't like seeing epic movies. Just like in this Agesinkole movie that I complained about, I like when it's epic, it should show us this epicness. I like the clothes and everything, but it did not seem lived in. But in this case now, you're showing us the epicness and everything, but you're showing us different characters. A black Yoruba man, because he is supposed to be a Yoruba man in the movie, a black Yoruba man in 1802 could not have been a titled man, talk less of being the bachelor of the day, the most eligible bachelor. It took me out to the point that the guy even spoke a phrase in Yoruba that when you marry a lady, you marry a family too. That taba taba fobirin, tebi ẹ̀ náà là ń fẹ́, you marry the family too. And I'm like, please, in 1802. I really don't like, but maybe because I'm a Nigerian, I'm in Nigeria too, so I'm not really in America understanding what is happening, or in UK understanding what is happening. But I know that in the UK of 1802, there was no black man that had that title. He's a duke, or what did they call him, a lord, a whatever. Liu, you're not seeing Asian, seeing this and that. Okay, people of color. Okay. That aside, so the movie was just there. It was nice actually. Don't know, it was just there. I could feel the chemistry, but there wasn't enough for us to feel the chemistry. there wasn't enough. We should just believe that okay, this one like this one, and then they like this one, and it went on. I thought they would draw out the parts where the captain came and he liked the main character too, and I thought they would draw that out a little bit, but it was just in one scene or so, one or two scenes, and that was the end. That would have made us feel the jealousy on the Mr. Whatever his name is, Pat, and made us feel his the chemistry, but do not feel it. I'm sorry, I watched this movie last week, but I cannot for the life of me remember their names now. Ah, so it too left me hanging. I felt the love a bit, but it did not give me finish. It too left me hanging, but it was better than the perfect arrangement that I mentioned. That one did not even fulfill any chemistry longing at all. So this one was still okay. I would give it a 2. What made me even watch it was this lady chat you barefoot or something on Instagram that did this period advertisement for them, drama advertisement. I really loved it, but I think I loved our own production than the movie itself. But I feel like they could have done better. Uh, and that ending after begging or the normal chase, you chase someone, you beg them, clinical. I read the review online. They said it could have just shown us a wedding scene to make us even feel oh, they just removed that, and what they were doing, I think they were showing us the characters as they were dancing, and the credits rolled by. No. So I was even looking for love movie to watch, and I said, what? If I cannot see love movie, let me go and watch Breaded Life again or Rich. Timini and what's her name? Bola Jogumola and Rich. I felt the chemistry. Timini and this my baby, Bimbo Ademoye in Breaded Life. I felt the love. I just said, well, let me go and watch this ones, to get the feeling I wanted back. These ones were not doing it for me. So that's my 2-in-1 review. I hope I've not talked too much. Don't mind my glasses. Hey, this thing is long. How to cut it is red. Okay, thank you. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment your review, your opinion. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. If you want more from me, just let me know. Even if you don't want to, I'll still do movie reviews because I love talking about movies. Bye. Thank you.